Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today I am here to give presentation on generations of computer. So let's have a look. Generation of computer mainly include first generation, which uses vacuum tubes and magnetic drums. Second generation uses transistors. Third generation uses semiconductor instead of transistors, and fourth one uses microprocessors, and fifth generation introduces artificial intelligence like thinking power, and generation of computer mainly include sixth generation also. So first we have first generation of computer, and its duration was from 1940 to 1956. Here is a picture of first generation of computer. They were enormous in size and taking up entire room. They were huge in size, and if they were some kind of problem, then people would enter into them and check them what's wrong with them. So here's the introduction. The computers built during the World War II era are generally known as first generation of computer. These are considered the first computer and are extremely different from computers we see today. Because the first generation computers were extremely difficult to program, they were designed for a specific task and they never made it to the general market. And these primitive computers relied on vacuum tubes for circuitry and magnetic drums for their memory. Circuitry is the different circuits perform particular function. And some of the first generation of computer are, some of the examples of first generation of computer are, first is ENIAC, and its full form is Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. The first programmable general purpose electronic digital computer, and it is built during World War II by the United States. Second one is EDVAC, that is acronym for Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer, and that was constructed in 1949, September 11, 2018. Next one is EDSAC, is Full Electronic Delay Storage Automatic Calculator, the first full-size stored program computer built at the University of Cambridge. And the last one is UNIVAC, is an acronym for Universal Automatic Computer. Next is characteristics of first generation of computer. That include vacuum tube technology. They were unreliable, supported machine language only, they were very costly, generate a lot of heat, and due to production of lot of heat, they lead to malfunction. Slow input and output devices, they were huge in size and need of AC. There is one more picture of first generation computer. That people were stand inside them and then start working. Next is, what are vacuum tubes? Vacuum tubes are sealed glass tube containing a near vacuum which allows the free passage of electric current. Actually, vacuum tubes contain electrodes for controlling electron flow and were used in early computers as a switch or an amplifier. These are vacuum tubes. You can see on a screen. Next is, what are magnetic drums? Actually, magnetic drums were easily adaptable for data storage, and the drum surface was coated with a ferromagnetic material that could store digital data by changing the magnetic properties of the material. Actually, ferromagnetic material are those materials which execute strong magnetism in the same direction where magnetic field is applied. Most computers that built between 1950 and 1955 used drum memory, like they used magnetic drum. Here is a picture of magnetic drums. Next is input and output of first generation computer. Early computers had no input devices or any type of software devices as we know it today. They were hardwired to perform specific mathematical calculations. Computer function could only be changed by rewiring its circuits. By the time of UNIVAC, prepared in 1951, control panel that is on the front of computer allows simple input through series of toggles, switches and buttons. The toggles were used the first computer program and data in binary format. Next is limitations. The major limitation of first generation computer include the operating speed was very low, power consumption was very high, they required large space for installation, and the programming capability was quite low in first generation. Quite larger, they generate a lot of heat and required special housing because they were very big. Next, what language is used in first generation of computer? First generation of computer used assembly or low level language to write the programs and then convert it into machine language. And the next step was to develop high level programming language such as Fortran and COBOL. A first generation programming language or IGL is a machine language that consists of ones and zeros. Their main advantage was execution speed and efficiency. Size of first generation of computers. ENIAC and the other first generation computers were huge in size. ENIAC covered 1800 square feet, like 167 square meters of floor space. And they were costly to buy due to the technology used, which was vacuum tubes and magnetic drums. Expenses to power, as they required a lot of electricity to function properly. Therefore, they were very expensive and could be bought only by very large organizations and institutions. And the computers that were initially were huge in size, majorly because of their memory storage, because even a kilobyte of data storage was stored in a huge device, and also the processors also were huge. Advantages of first generation of computer. These computers fast and could calculate data in milliseconds. Vacuum tubes were the only electronic component available during those days. Vacuum tube technology made possible to make electronic signal digital computer. Easily available and inexpensive. Textile sensitivity is preserved. Color coded for easier and faster identification of readings. Next is disadvantages. So disadvantages include the computers were very large in size. They consumed a large amount of energy and they heated very soon due to thousands of vacuum tubes present. They were not very reliable and they need air conditioning. And they also need constant maintenance. Some more disadvantages include that they were non-portable, they were costly commercial production, limited commercial use, very slow speed, limited programming capabilities, and they were used machine language, only used magnetic drums which provide very less data storage. What are drawbacks? High cost, bulky and heavy volume, and consumed more power than calculations, and limited programming capabilities. And what are inventions during that period and who invent? So first we have 1939 to 1942 Atkinsoft Barry computer by John Atkinsoft and Clifford Barry, and at 1941 Z3 by Conrad Zuse. 1943 Colossus by Tommy Flowers and Max Newman. 1944 Howard Mark I by Howard Aiken. And 1943 to 1946 ENIAC by Dr. John Moseley and J. Presper Eckert, and EDVIC by John Moseley and J. Presper Eckert by 1945. Transistors at 1947 by Bell Telephone Laboratories. SSEC at 1948 by IBM. EDSEC at 1949 by Maurice Wilkins. And there are some others. What is advantage of transistor over vacuum tubes? Transistors are very small size compared to vacuum tube for the same amount of amplification. And transistor never warm up time, and a tube takes 30 seconds to warm up. Transistor is very easy to mass produce compared to a tube. A transistor can take extreme amounts of shock and vibration compared to a tube, and a transistor is usually much lower in cost compared to a tube that gives the same amplification. And transistors generally live and work forever, whereas tubes burn out after a while. So here is one more picture, and this is a person who invented first generation computer. Thanks for watching.